The rain fell in silver streaks across the city, blurring the bright lights into a hazy glow. In the glass tower that bore his name, Nathaniel Blackwood stood before the massive windows, his reflection tall and rigid. He was the powerful CEO everyone spoke of, the man whose presence could silence a boardroom, whose decisions dictated the rise and fall of industries. Success was not just a pursuit for him, it was his weapon, his shield, his identity. But tonight, as thunder rumbled in the distance, an unfamiliar unease coiled in his chest. His assistant had informed him of a visitor as someone he had not seen in 5 long years, a name that carried both memory and wound. Claire. The sound of the elevator arriving broke through his thoughts. He straightened, his suit sharp, his features unreadable. Yet when the doors slid open, the fortress around his heart cracked. Claire stepped out, more beautiful than memory allowed, her auburn hair damp from the rain, her green eyes filled with a storm of emotions. And she wasn't alone. Beside her stood a little girl, no older than 4, clutching Claire's hand. The child's hair was dark like his, her eyes an unmistakable mirror of his own. Nathaniel felt the ground shift beneath him. He could face mergers worth billions, ruthless negotiations, scandals that would destroy weaker Mina, but nothing had prepared him for this. Claire, he said, his voice low, carrying a dangerous tremor. Her lips parted. Hello, Nathaniel. His eyes darted to the girl, who shrank behind her mother's legs but peeked out curiously. His heart pounded, fury and disbelief battling inside him. Who was she? He demanded. Claire swallowed, her grip tightening on the girl's small hand. Her name is Emily. Nathaniel's throat turned dry, but he already knew the truth. He saw it in the child's eyes. His blood, his daughter. He stepped forward, his composure breaking. Mine. Tears shimmered in Claire's eyes as she nodded. Yes, the word detonated inside him. A daughter, a child he hadn't known existed. Memories crashed through him of the night Claire had walked out of their marriage, the silence that had followed, the divorce papers he had signed with hands of steel. He had buried the pain under layers of work, power, and women whose names he never remembered. But now, staring at the little girl hiding behind Claire's legs, he realized he had lost more than a wife. He had lost years of his child's life. You kept this from me? His voice shook, dangerous and raw. Claire flinched but held her ground. I had no choice. No choice? He roared, his hands clenching into fists. You took my child away from me. You denied me the right to know her, to love her. Her tears broke free, sliding down her cheeks. You don't understand. Back then, you were consumed by your empire, Nathaniel. Every day was a war for power, every night a battlefield of deals and contracts. You had no time for USA for me. And when I found out I was pregnant after I left, I couldn't bring myself to tell you. I thought you'd see her as a burden, a distraction. I thought she'd be safer with me. His breath caught. He wanted to argue, to rage, but her words pierced deep. He remembered their marriage, how he had spent more time with his board than with her, how he had pushed her away when she asked for his presence. He had been building an empire but destroying his family. Still, anger flared. You thought wrong. She's mine, my daughter, and you had no right to steal her from me. Claire's shoulders shook. I know. I'm sorry, but I did what I thought was best for her. The silence that followed was thick. Nathaniel turned his gaze to Emily, whose curious eyes now studied him. He crouched slowly, lowering himself to her height, his voice breaking as he spoke. Emily. The name felt like both a wound and a miracle. The girl blinked at him. Are you a broken bar, my daddy? Nathaniel's chest fractured. He had faced hostile takeovers and walked away without a tremor, but this single question shattered him. His throat tightened, and he nodded. Yes, sweetheart, I'm your daddy. Her small lips curved into a shy smile, and she reached out a hand. Nathaniel's large, trembling hand enveloped hers, and in that moment, the ruthless CEO everyone feared was undone. The following days turned Nathaniel's world upside down. He brought Claire and Emily into his penthouse, a place that had always felt like a fortress of solitude. now filled with laughter and tiny footsteps. He rearranged meetings, canceled trips, and shocked his board with the revelation that he would not be attending certain events. For the first time in his life, Nathaniel Blackwood was prioritizing something other than his empire. Emily fascinated him. She loved to draw, often handing him crayon sketches of houses and stick figures she labeled Mammy and Me. After a few days, she began adding a tall figure beside them, clumsily scrawled but unmistakable, Daddy. Every time he saw it, his heart clenched. But the road wasn't smooth. Nathaniel's anger simmered beneath the surface. At night, when Emily was asleep, he and Claire clashed. You should have told me, he said one evening, his voice sharp. Do you have any idea what you've taken from me? Her first words, her first steps. I wasn't there. Claire's eyes filled with tears. Do you think I don't know that? Do you think I don't hate myself for it? But I was scared. You weren't the man who could love us the way we needed back then. His jaw tightened. Maybe I wasn't, but you should have given me the chance. Her voice cracked. And what if you had disappointed her the way you disappointed me? What if she had grown up feeling unwanted? I couldn't take that risk. The argument ended in silence, but the pain lingered. Still, slowly, Nathaniel changed. He learned how to braid Emily's hair with clumsy fingers. He sat cross-legged on the floor with her, coloring books spread out around them. He read bedtime stories, his deep voice softening as Emily curled against him, drifting into dreams. The empire outside his doors seemed irrelevant compared to the small world inside his home. Claire watched, torn between guilt and awe. The man she had left had been hard, cold, unreachable. But now, she saw cracks in his armor, glimpses of the man he could have been all along. He wasn't perfect. He was still commanding, still sharp, but with Emily, he was different, gentle, present. One night, after Emily had fallen asleep, Nathaniel poured a glass of scotch but didn't drink it. He stood by the window, his reflection haunted. Claire joined him, her voice quiet. She loves you, you know. He turned, eyes burning. And I love her more than I thought I could love anything. His hand trembled as he set the glass down. Claire, I've built towers, bought companies, crushed enemies, but none of it matters. Not compared to her. Her throat tightened. You've changed. He stepped closer, his voice rough. You made me change. You and Emily. You gave me something worth more than power. His hand brushed hers. Don't take it away again. Claire's tears slipped free. I don't want to, but I don't know if I can trust this version of you to last. His grip on her hand tightened. Then let me prove it. I'll spend the rest of my life proving it. His voice broke. I can't lose you again. Either of you. The distance between them closed, and when his lips met hers, it wasn't with the hunger of lust but the desperation of a man who had finally found his heart after years of emptiness. The powerful CEO was shaken, undone, rebuilt, and not by hostile takeovers or billion-dollar deals, but by a woman he had once loved and a little girl who called him daddy. And as he tucked Emily into bed that night, whispering a promise of forever, Nathaniel Blackwood knew his greatest empire was not made of steel and glass but of love, fragile yet unbreakable.